This June the 21st picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with our code MLB SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. We are also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, June the 20th, and we are here to handicap 14 games of action across MLB for Friday, June the 21st. Joining me from New York City is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Scorcher out here. It's in the 90s. We got record-breaking temperatures here in the Northeast, but hot one, but doing well. I've 0 for 3 in my baseball plays, but I'm 1-0 in soccer in the Euro. Spain, baby. Took care of business today.
Oh, you look. I am having, after a terrible start, I mounted a little bit of a fight back, but then I had a bad day today. I feel like today was one of those days where I read the games right, and then the picks didn't hit. I took goals in the Spain game, over 2.5, and they just missed so many chances in the first half. If you get an early goal, it forces Italy out, and then I just couldn't catch a break today at all. Just before we started the show, I saw you were having problems connect your computer. You were mumbling and grumbling. I was sitting here in a foul mood because I've been too busy today, and I'm incredibly lazy, and I hate being busy. So between us, about 4 minutes ago, we were having a right little paddy, but we pulled ourselves together, Dylan. Already the chat's making me giggle a little bit. Max, the new section, Dingers, which I want to call Dingers. That was, I think, if it's 7 dingers, I think it's the way to go. So that's my hat thrown into the ring. Max is going with go yard or go home, which is not bad either. I can't decide on that. Ryan's in the chat as well. I didn't like Scott's the other day. I don't feel like I know Scott well enough to tell him I don't like his idea. If you come up with a shit idea, I just say, Dylan, that's shit. Yeah. But I don't feel like I've got that relationship with Scott. I'm quite intimidated by him, so I had to keep saying, well, it's not a bad idea. It is a bad idea. And I don't know what Lonte is coming up with. So we need more things, because at the minute, I even made a banner for it. I'll put it on screen now. This is what we're looking at. Dinger.
Is it 6 or 7 dingers?
No, but crucially, if you notice, the first dinger doesn't have an S. All the other dingers do. You got it? So it's dingers. It's catchy. So that's the work. And anyway, listen, I'm in charge of the buttons today. So we call it whatever I want to call it. There's been some days ball today. I haven't seen much days ball today because I went out to watch England this afternoon, which was an absolute waste of everybody's time. What a load of shit they are. But there's been some days ball. Just having a look around now. Dodgers look like easing past the Rockies. The Orioles are putting it on the Yankees again, which is good. Astros squeezed past the White Sox. The White Sox blew another lead. The bullpen blew that game in the 7th. Rays won at the Twins. And Luis Castillo got beat for the Mariners at the Guardians. Quite a few games in play, so we'll keep our eyes on them. But we are on the clock, Dylan. We're going to start with a 2:20 Eastern first pitch between the New York Mets, your New York Mets, and the Chicago Cubs. 2 left-handed pitchers going here. It is Jose Quintana and it is Shota Imanaga. The lines are Imanaga in the Cubs is short, -152. The Mets +128. Total here is at 8.5. Quintana is going along all right, I think, Dylan. Obviously, I watched him in London. I've got to stop saying that. Every time either Quintana or Suarez are pitching, I just keep saying, I watch them in London. Like, that's my only real angle in for this. But he only gave up one earned run through 6 innings against the Padres last time. So he followed it up. He has struggled on the road. 6.68 ERA, in fact, on the road, which isn't the best. So he is still difficult to trust in this spot. He's appeared 3 times in Wrigley Field in the past, 2.84 ERA, so that's not a huge problem. The presence of Imanaga might be a huge problem, though, because he's been really, really good. He's had 3 more great starts in a row after he had that little wobble a few weeks ago. 3 more wins as well, he's tagged on there. He threw 7 scoreless versus the Mets on May the 1st in a game that finished 1-0. And that kind of looks like a decent comp for me. I think the 8.5's too high. We've obviously got weather to forecast into it. But I think Quintana can go okay. The Cubs haven't been great. Imanaga's been fantastic. Might not finish 1-0, but I think 8.5's too high. I'll take the under to lead us off, Dylan.
I'm actually going to go the other way. I like runs in this game.
No.
Jose Quintana, he has struggled on the road. Plus, if I feel like the Cubs bats have kind of woken up a little bit. They had a nice series this past week against the Giants. They scored 17 runs in those 3 games. And we all know how the Mets, the runs per game at home versus road splits. At home, 3.8 runs per game, but on the road, they lead the league. 5.6 runs on the road. Mets hit lefties pretty well. I know Imanaga, he's been great at home, and, he already has a win over this Mets club, but this is a different team. The Mets are playing much better. They're hitting more, swinging the bat well, and, they've been fighting and scratching lately. I know they lost the streak yesterday, but they've been fighting back in some games. So I like the over. I set my total at 8.6, so barely over. I thought we were going to get an 8, but yeah, I'm going to slightly lean over here.
Okay, look. We move on to the 6:40 Eastern first pitch between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is one of 3 games that are off the board for this evening's card. This is the first of those. It's Ryan Pepiot for Tampa Bay, and it's Pittsburgh or TBD. Although I think it's Jared Jones going for this one. No lines as a result. Dylan, did you see Jones, and do you have much on this?
I saw Jones yesterday, and then today I saw Luis Ortiz maybe. And then they was completely off the board. But yeah, the Rays are kind of like the Blue Jays for me. It's just so hard to, get a good read on them. They've been so up and down. But I kind of like the Buccos here, depending on the number we get.
Yeah, Pepiot is struggling a little bit. 5 and 4 in runs in the last 2 starts, but he has been decent on the road. And I quite liked it. I noticed his whip was only 1.08, which I think is okay if he can keep those ducks off the pond. Jared Jones, there's no point going into him too in depth because we're not sure if it is him. I need it to be him. My fantasy league finishes tomorrow night, and I need a start from Jared Jones to get me over the line. But he's dropped off a little bit lately. If it is Jones that goes 3, 5, and 6 earned runs in 3 of his last 5, loads of walks. He's walked 15 in his last 5. Pittsburgh 500 at home, Tampa Bay 500 on the road. I thought with Jones present, the Pirates would be favourite, and I thought in that spot the Rays were live because there's not much between them. However, that's as far as I got. So if it is Pepiot v Jones, I'll have a little go on the Rays. Next up is where are we going? 6:40 Eastern first pitch is the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies. We have left-handed pitcher Jordan Montgomery for the Snakes. Taiwan Walker goes for the Phillies, who are minus 134. The Diamondbacks plus 115. Total here is 9.5. D-backs have picked up a couple of little wins kind of against the run of play this week. They've out at the Nationals 13-4 tonight. But I can't believe, this price on Philly. I mean, Philly against the D-backs, and really regardless of the pitching matchup, you're getting minus 134 on Philly. And bear in mind, Montgomery's been poor. He eventually got one good start last time. That was against the Chicago White Sox. So it's hard to know how much stock you can put in that. Walker's consistently given up several runs as well and all of his games are going over. So originally I had over 9.5, which I still think is a good play. But now I've seen the lines, I thought Philly would be shorter than this. I think Philly minus 134 at any time against the D-backs in Montgomery particularly is a good price. So I'll take Philly and I'll take the over.
Yeah, I love the Phillies big here tomorrow. Jordan Montgomery's just not really someone I want to back on the road or at home for that matter. Phillies, they smashed left-handed pitchers 262 on the year. And the last time he pitched on the road, he gave up 8 runs to my Mets in just 4 innings. And, when we take Montgomery out of the game, I don't trust his Arizona bullpen either. Bottom 5 in the National League. We know Taijuan Walker hasn't been the best in his last 3 starts. So, maybe a good spot for him to get back into the win column. Sneaks, you kind of want to back them against lefties and not against righties. So it might be a good spot for him. I agree. I set my my line for the Phillies at a minus 165. So getting a minus 134, I love the Phillies here tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of price, Dylan. I had them at certainly sort of in the minus 150 range. Let's mention the college football experience, which it's an outstanding show, really. Noah's absolutely brilliant on there. And Colby, the countdown to football season is on SGP, and it got you covered. The college football experience, doing individual team previews for every college football team. And don't forget the 5-minute fantasy football show, which is your quick and dirty podcast, getting you prepped for all things fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is still ticking along nicely. The WNBA all under control. The Euro stuff's on there as well. You can pick up to 8 players now. Underdog automatically double flex them, so you can miss a couple of picks and still win your entry. You can win up to 325 times your original amount. Don't miss your chance to try it out before it's gone. Use our code to sign up, which is MLB SGPN, to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. Why's that changed pages? Okay. 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Chicago White Sox at the Detroit Tigers. Eric Fedde for the White Sox. Jack Flaherty goes for the Tigers. Plus 148 Chicago, minus 175 Detroit. Total 7.5, D-Rock.
Yeah, both teams not playing the best baseball, to say the least. But I still do favor the Tigers here at home. It's just so hard to trust the White Sox to win on the road, let alone in general. We saw it today. They were winning. Bullpen blew another game. Now, I do like Eric Fedde. I think he has been their second best pitcher, but I can only back him at home. On the road, he's just a much different pitcher. 4.74 ERA, 26 runs, giving up 6 long balls, 16 walks. Walks are a big issue. White Sox are just 2-7 straight up on the road when Eric Fedde starts for them. The Tigers, they already have a win over Fedde. It was his first start of the season, but Jack Flaherty, he's given the Tigers 3 scoreless innings, 16 scoreless innings in his last 3 starts, 2 walks, 19 strikeouts. He's just in great form right now, and I think the Tigers are, if they give him 3 to 4 runs, I think that should be enough to secure this win. So, I like the Tigers here, minus 1.5 at plus 122.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree with you. The key figure you gave out there is the splits, the home road splits with Fedde. 0.95 at home, 4.74 on the road. And Jack Flaherty's absolutely flying, 16 2/3. Scoreless over his last 3 games. So absolutely outstanding there. In his last 4 wins, Detroit covered by 20 runs, so an average of 5 runs per game. So they'll cover the 1.5 tomorrow. A great example tonight, the Thursday night game, is the White Sox being in the game in a good position against not a very good team, and then blowing it against the Astros. So, yeah, there we go. Christopher Fox has made it into the live. Hello, mate. How you doing? If you've got any picks, throw them in the chat. Nice to have you along. Callum as well. Callum is one of our Premier League gambling podcast regulars, but he likes to get his loyalty card stamped. Next up, we have a 7:05 Eastern between the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees, where left-handed pitcher Chris Sale goes for the Braves. Left-handed pitcher Carlos Rodon will go for the Yankees. Great looking game, this. Atlanta are favourites, -120. The Yankees +101. And the total is set at 8. I mean, yeah, great looking series. The Yankees, did they pick up the first 2, I think, against Baltimore? Baltimore have fought back. Look like you're going to split that one tonight. Chris Sale had that terrible 8-run start at Oakland 3 starts ago, but has bounced back with 2 starts, both of 7 innings, gave up 2 earned runs and struck out 17. So Sale's back. I mean, a 9-2 record, 2.98 ERA. He's fine on the road. He has got a 3.96 at the Yankees. Korea, I don't really know what to read into that too much. Rodon's been a little bit wobbly lately. But even when he does wobble, the Yankees offense dig him out. He gets a lot of run support. But he's been very good at home. He's only started 5 games at Yankee Stadium, where he started 10 on the road. I like his home record. And the Yankees don't hit left-handed pitching as well. So I think both pitchers can be in charge here. I'm going to take it under 8, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be at the game tomorrow, taking my pops for Father's Day. Yeah, so it's going to be
nice.
gotta have some action while you go to the game. But yeah, it's a scorcher, like I said. I think the ball will be traveling, but I actually like the spot here for the Braves. I didn't like what I saw from Rodon in his last start. Granted, he is better at home than he is on the road, but we saw regression from Lewis Gill. He was one of the best pitchers at home this season. He got raked, and he didn't even go 2 innings for the Yankees today. So regression might be coming for Rodon at home. Braves, they've been playing much better, scoring the ball. And Yankees and their bullpen has been struggling as of late. So total seems about spot on, but I think the Braves are favored for a reason. I made them a -135 favorite here with Sale. I'll take the Braves here, -120. Not going to be happy for my dad. He's a Yankee fan, but.
Does your dad have a little bet? Will he have a play?
He's more of a hockey guy. He loves hockey, and he bets on hockey. He likes the Yankees, but doesn't really bet it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. He likes the 50-50s in the game.
That's a nice Father's Day present, Dylan. You are a very lovely son, and he's lucky to have you. I told you we've got to spend the next half an hour making each other feel better. Come on, we can do it. We can get through this, Dill. 7:10 Eastern first pitch. The Boston Red Sox at the Cincinnati Reds. It is Cutter Crawford for Boston. It is Andrew Abbott, left-handed pitcher for the Reds. Close on the books, -110 each of 2. It is a match with a total of 9. Dylan, lead us off in this one.
Yeah, I got to continue back in the Red Sox here. Winners of 5 straight. While the Reds, I was talking a big storm about them last week, saying, they've kind of turned some things. They regress right back to their old ways, loses the 4 of their last 5. And, I know Cutter Crawford hasn't been that backable in the past month, but he did have a really nice start last weekend against the Yankees. I think he can continue his success here against the Reds, who they've struggled to score runs, 8 total runs in their past 5 games, while the Red Sox have just been tearing the ball up. They play well on the road, 22-15 straight up. They play well away from Fenway. I just can't get in front of this team right now, so I got to take the short price. I know Cutter Crawford struggled, but I think this is a good spot for him, so give me the Red Sox.
I think because I was in a bit of a foul mood when I handicapped all these games, I've got loads of unders. That must be my thing. If I'm not in a good mood, I'm like, fuck that, unders. Just like a proper Scrooge. I've handicapped them as Scrooge. So this is another under. If you cheer me up, I'll get a few overs in before the end. But Crawford's last 2 starts have been much better. And against good offenses as well, the Yankees and the Phillies. He's got a 2.62 road ERA. He basically goes as Boston are going. If Boston are winning, Crawford mirrors that and vice versa. Andrew Abbott's been better lately. And I think he needed to be. We kind of had high hopes for Andrew Abbott. And he had quite a few dodgy starts consecutively. And he's been competing in very low-scoring games as well. I think this is a low-key, quite nice pitchers duel, Crawford v Abbott. So I'm going to take the under 9. Actually, I would prefer Boston. I do think the momentum they have counts for something. Cincinnati have had a bit of a topsy-turvy series with Pittsburgh this week. but I'm happy to take the under 9. SMK Teach is here. How you doing? Degen Dingers is his suggestion for the home run section of the show. So we'll put that on the short list. We've got the short list's turning into a long list is what's going on here. Toronto Blue Jays at the Cleveland Guardians is off at 7:10 Eastern tomorrow. This is game 2 off the board of the 3 we've got tonight. And it's because the Toronto Blue Jays have no pitcher, although I believe it is Yariel Rodriguez. Carlos Carrasco will go for Cleveland. As I say, no odds. So Rodriguez not being called up / activated. He pitched 4 times in April and actually drew quite a bit of steam. There was a lot of talk about him in fantasy circles, and he pitched all right. Short start, he was getting 3-4 innings, but he never got lit up. He sort of handled himself quite well. He's quite an interesting story. Pitched for Cuba in the WBC back pre-season. Carlos Carrasco has been terrible on the road. 2-6, 5.80 ERA on the season, but terrible on the road. A little bit better at home lately. But anything could happen here. I really struggled with this game. What split it for me was the Blue Jays run a little bit of a losing streak again. And Cleveland's home record's just stellar. I don't think the prices will be too far apart here. This could easily be a match, I think. Rodriguez is a bit of an unknown quantity. Carrasco's not going to be priced too short. And I don't think Cleveland will be heavily favoured over the Blue Jays. But I would take Cleveland, Dylan.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be maybe Trevor Rogers, kind of maybe like a bullpen day for the Blue Jays. Maybe give a little spot start, maybe 2-3 innings get out of him. But yeah, like I said, I'm just not really in the business of backing the Blue Jays. And now I do agree. I think it would be closer on the books. Probably, if it is Trevor Rogers and Carlos Carrasco, I made the Guardians a -140 favorite. So what it came down to exactly what you said, 22-9, one of the best home records in the baseball right now. I feel like on principle, you just have to take them. They just came off a really nice series against a really good Mariner team. Coming back home, I like this spot for the Guardians where the Blue Jays, they don't play well on the road. And if it is the spot starter, do not want to be backing the Blue Jays bullpen. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, I'd rather back the Guardians here, depending on the price.
Next on the board, 7:10 Eastern, the Seattle Mariners at the Miami Marlins. It is George Kirby for Seattle. Left-handed pitcher Trevor Rogers goes for the Marlins. Kirby and the Mariners -155. Rogers and the Marlins +131. Total is set at 8, Dylan.
Yeah, I like the Mariners here to bounce back tomorrow. You know, they lost today. Luis Castillo did not look good. He got rocked. A little chalky here, -156 on the money line. Maybe you want to take their team total over. If you could get a 4.5, I do like that over. You know, Trevor Rogers, he's not good at home. And besides his last night getting shut out, the Mariners bats have kind of woken up a little bit. 4.3 runs per game on the road they're averaging. And I think they're going to be able to tee off of Rogers tomorrow night. George Kirby, 4 consecutive solid starts. He's rolling right now. So I think the Mariners win big. I actually like that they lost tonight. I think they bounce back here tomorrow on the road. It's a little chalky. Maybe you want to add them in your parlay, but I do like the Mariners here tomorrow. Maybe a team total over as well.
I've got another under, Dylan. I was definitely handicapping these on the miserly side. Kirby's been lights out, absolutely lights out recently. Barely giving up a run in his recent game log. Rogers has been okay lately, though. Through June, he had a 3.50 ERA, even though his record of 1-8 with a 5.09 isn't particularly good. And again, we've seen tonight, Seattle, even winning, low-scoring games again, or low-scoring. They had 5 hits tonight, 3 runs. They've got a 44-33 record, but by no means are they a high-octane offense. In Miami, we know, are one of the least potent offenses in the league. So with Kirby and Rogers going, I'm happy for this to just chug along with a few runs. Seattle will wind up winning 3-1 or something like that. But yeah, under 8 will be the main play for me. Next on the card is a 8:05 Eastern first pitch between the Kansas City Royals and the Texas Rangers. We have Brady Singer going for the Royals, Nathan Eovaldi for Texas, who are minus 141 at home, Kansas City plus 120. Total is at 8.5. Brady Singer is 4-4 on the year, 3.39 ERA. Back-to-back bad starts for Singer. Although against the Yankees and the Dodgers, so kind of forgivable. 3.94 road ERA, though. That's practically a whole run worse than his home ERA. And he had a 6.46 in June, so not trending in the right direction, particularly Singer. I'm not sure Kansas City are trending in the right direction either. They've struggled on the road a little bit this week with the bats. They're clinging on to a lead tonight at Oakland, I think it is. And the key here, I think Eovaldi and I think Texas are both really very average. But the critical stat in this whole game is he's got a 2.09 home ERA in 7 games started. That's enough for me. It's not the fanciest of prices, but I'll take Texas at minus 140.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But both teams, they need a win coming in here. Both teams, losers of 4 of their last 5. Kansas City has actually fallen off a cliff recently, 2-8 in their last 10, under 500 on the road. I just don't think you could trust them right now, at least here with the Rangers. And with the difference with the Rangers, I know they've been losing, but at least they've been able to score some runs and be a little more competitive in most of their games. And that's been the cap for me in this one. Nathan Eovaldi, he's been great at home this season. He hasn't allowed more than 2 runs one time at home this season. Rangers 5-2 straight up at home when Eovaldi pitches. So can't get behind the Royals right now. I agree. I think the Rangers keep it rolling. I'll take them on the money line.
Okay, we'll move on. Once I've told you about rhythm, if you are betting on player props, which I think we all are, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's predictive models were born from the brains of MIT data scientists and quants with over 3 years of data that help you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Plus, it's never too early to start your NFL projections. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. 8:10 Eastern first pitch is the Baltimore Orioles at the Houston Astros. Grayson Rodriguez goes for Baltimore. And we have Jake Bloss, a new name on the show here, going for Houston. Baltimore minus 158. Houston are plus 132. Total is 8.5. Dylan, I think he wanted me to handle the Jake Bloss situation here. I will start with Grayson Rodriguez, though. He's in good form. Simply put, 8-2 ERA, 3.20. 8-2 record, 3.20 ERA. Every game Baltimore have won of his, they've covered on the run line. They're off to a great start tonight. They've already put 8 runs up against the Yankees early on. Jake Bloss is a 3rd round 2023 pick, so relatively inexperienced. He's had 8 starts in AA and is completely skipping AAA to come and start this game. Now, I kind of fear for him against Baltimore. We're seeing Baltimore put it on Lewis Hill tonight, who's been outstanding. So Jake Bloss, straight from AA, could be a bit of a problem here. Also, Houston is still rubbish. Yeah. And like I say, Baltimore, I fancied them. If they've cashed a couple of prices this week, plus 150, was it Wednesday night? They're going to cash again. I love Baltimore on the run line here. And I don't mind a little ladder. If you want to take an alt run line, they could win this by 3, 4, 5, 6, something like that. So fill your boots on a Baltimore ladder here, Dylan.
Yeah, didn't know too much about this Jake Bloss kid, but I do know this isn't the first team you want to face in the majors as your first start. So I feel for the kid. Orioles coming in this series swinging the bat well. They're averaging 6.2 runs per game this past week. Like you just said, they just put up 8 against one of the best pitchers in the American League. And to be honest, Mal, when guys get called up to the majors, I usually like to fade him in my first start before I back them. I know his stats in AA were good, but the major leagues is just a different level. Yeah, I got to back the Orioles here. I take them on the run line as well. 43 of their 48 wins have come by 2 or more runs. Love a team total over for the Orioles. If it's over 4.5, 5, I like that as well. Orioles all day here, though.
Yeah, completely agree. It's hard to get a different angle in. Good luck, Jake. Going through a no-hitter, prove us wrong. 8:40 Eastern first pitch is the Washington Nationals at the Kansas City Royals. Left-handed pitcher DJ Hertz goes for Washington. Dakota Hudson for the Rockies. Plus 103 Colorado, small home puppy. The Nationals minus 122. Total 10.5.
Yeah, I'm going to attack a total in this one. Give me the over 10.5. A little chalky at minus 120, but my total came out to 11.3. Just look at the recent scores we've been seeing at Coors Field. 7-6, 11-9, 9-5, 16-4 the other night. The games have just been flying over the total, and this is DJ's first start on the road this season, and going up to altitude for your first road start, not the best. It's not ideal, to say the least. I don't think that's what he wants. I think he could get rocked here, honestly. The Rockies are averaging around 5 runs per game at home this season. Plus, on the Colorado side, I expect Dakota Hudson to give up his fair share of runs as well. The Rockies haven't won a game. Dakota started at home since mid-April. He's given up anywhere from 3 to 4 runs. And once that bullpen comes in, we've seen it time and time again. One of the worst bullpen in the league. So I think we're going to see a shootout here. A lot of runs. 10.5 seems small. Give me the over.
Crossfire Dylan. I've got the under. I don't know if that's part because I'm picking all unders. But DJ Hertz has been okay. He held his own against Atlanta. He started 3 games now. Held his own against Atlanta. Picked up a win against the Marlins last time. And Hudson's pitched well lately. He's only given up over 3 earned runs once in his last 7 starts. So I think this total might be a little bit too high. So no help to anyone. Dylan's gone over, and I'm going to take the under 10.5. Gio joined us in the chat. Gio wants a little bit of the Jack Flaherty Detroit Tigers run line that we mentioned earlier on. Yeah, we covered that, Gio. We completely agree with you. Next, 9:40 Eastern first pitch. The Minnesota Twins at the Oakland Athletics. Chris Paddock for Minnesota and Joey Estes for the Twins. Twins minus 165. Oakland plus 140. Total here is set at 8. Chris Paddock, 5-3, 5.25 ERA. He saw Oakland in his last start. In fact, these pitchers saw each other in the last start. And what an absolute madness this was. Paddock went 2 1/3, gave up 5 earned runs. Estes went 2 2/3, gave up 6 earned runs in a game that Minnesota won 8-7. So the question, I suppose, with either or both is, can they adjust? But generally with Paddock, I think his form's dropped off. He's had a bit of a roller coaster. He started quite badly, then he put it together and gave us a little bit of hope. Struggled a little bit lately. I like Joey Estes. I think he's got potential. I think he's going to end up throwing more good starts than bad starts here. I'm going to give Oakland a chance, plus 140. I think they're live at home. I like Estes, and Paddock's a bit of a worry. So, yeah, let's try. This is a bit more adventurous. Let's try Oakland at plus 140, Dylan.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I only made the Twins a minus 145 favorite, so I kind of like that. But shop around here for a total. I'm going to go with another over 7.5. A little juice to minus 124, but I just can't take the Twins right now as I'm wearing a Twin shirt. But, they screwed me today. I just can't go back to them. I'd rather back to total. I think we could get some runs in this game. I made my total 7.9. Outside of Thursday's games, the Twins have been involved in a lot of high-scoring games. 4 of the last 5 games have gone over this number, as well as the A's going over in 4 of their last 5 as well. And you just look how poorly Chris Paddock has been on the road. So this is not much of a fade on him. I can't back the Twins at this number. I don't think they should be a minus 166 favorite or whatever you see. So it's a fade on him. And I think we're going to see some runs tomorrow. So I agree on the dog, and I like the over.
Okay. Penultimate game on the show here, at 9:40 Eastern. First pitch between the Milwaukee Brewers and the San Diego Padres. We have Colin Rea going for the Brewers. Dylan Cease has the ball for the Padres. Minus 153 San Diego, plus 128 Milwaukee. Total 7.5, Dylan.
Yeah, call me a total, Dylan. 3 totals in a row, and I'm going to go with another over 7.5 at minus 115. My total came out to an 8 for this game. Look at Dylan Cease in his last few games. He's given up 3+ runs in 6 of his last 7 games. He's not in good form right now, and I just don't think this is another good spot for him against the Brewers, who they play well on the road. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. They hit righties extremely well, and Colin Rea, on the other hand, he's a guy that gives up a lot of hard contact as well on the road. So I think both teams could muster up 4 or 5 runs each. So I think we could see another over. Plus, at Petco Park this season, 20-17 towards the over for the Padres. So should be a nice night in San Diego. I think the ball starts flying. So give me the over here.
I just don't get these prices. I think the Brewers are a better team, arguably, than the Padres. There's certainly not much in it. And Rea's been outstanding lately. In his last 5 starts, he's given up 6 earned runs, 28 innings pitched. The Brewers have won 4 of those 5. The only loss was a 2-1 loss to the Phillies, which is no issue. Cease did get smashed up by the Mets last time. Just really, it's hard to trust in any situation. But like you say, not been going along too well. And I don't think the Padres are playing great either. They did make 1 game against the Phillies. It was last night or the night before. But anyway, at these prices, Brewers plus 128. I think for me it has to be. Next is this final game. Is off the board, unfortunately. It is a Cowboy time, 10:10 Eastern first pitch between the LA Angels and the LA Dodgers. Left-handed pitcher Patrick Sandoval for the Angels. The Dodgers are TBD. It was meant to be Yamamoto's spot in the rotation, and obviously that's not going to happen as he is crocked. So I've seen nothing indicating who might be on the bump for the Dodgers here. No lines. I mean, do you have much on this, Dylan?
Yeah, nothing. I thought it would be this guy named Landon Knack for the Dodgers, kind of like a bullpen day for them, but yeah, nothing really, to be honest. I expect the Dodgers to win at home. I just surprisingly the Angels are better on the road than they are at home, but yeah, I can't back Patrick Sandoval here. Maybe an over depending on the number, but yeah, nothing concrete.
Yeah, the last line I've got written here in a box is who knows. Sandoval's particularly uninspiring. There's nothing really to recommend him. So I can't factor the Angels in much. I think his ERA and his record are very accurate. They're an accurate representation of what he is. And yeah, nothing else on the Dodgers. So yeah, Dodgers team total we could do. Because like I say, I'm not hugely keen on Sandoval. But yeah, that's about as good as it gets for that one. Therefore, Dylan, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've handicapped 14 games pretty rapidly, actually. I'm just checking we haven't missed any out. We must have been in we got there. Yeah, 3 games off the board, I suppose. Dylan, lock and dog. What do you like?
So yesterday I took the Yankees as my lock, and that it was dead in the first inning. And now let's go fade them. I'm going to take the Braves as my lock. I like Chris Sale, what he's been able to do. You know, I think they've struggled against lefties. They hit righties a little better. I just think this is a good time to start fading the Yankees in that pitching staff. Carlos Rodon against a really good Braves team who has started to hit. So I'm going to take the Braves here on the road as my lock. And as my dog, I'm going to go to the one that chat's been talking about too, and Jack Flaherty and the Tigers -1.5 against the White Sox at +122. I get Eric Fetty's been all right, but on the road, he's just not someone I really want to fade at all. So both teams desperate for a win right now. I cannot trust that bullpen of the White Sox. They blew another one today, and Jack Flaherty has been really good his last 3-4 starts. So maybe you want to take a run line first 5 minus a half run line. Maybe that's plus money, but I'm going to go full game. They get the extra at bat being at the home team. So Tigers on the run line -1.5 at +122 is my dog.
Yeah, that Tigers play really does jump off the board. The one that I can't get away from here at all is Baltimore. Houston taking on effectively a double-A pitcher, a kid. Like I say, I hope he goes well, but Baltimore are smashing up all comers, let alone a double-A pitcher. So if you want a Baltimore team total, that's fine. Even but -158 is not a terrible price.
No.
If you can bet a unit and a half, but I'll take them on the run line. Let's be brave, and I do like the ladder as well. So yeah, Baltimore run line will be my lock. And for my dog, I have to go back to the Brewers. I think there's not that much between these two teams or these two pitchers for the Padres to be -150 and the Brewers to be +130. And again, total's low as well, which brings the entire thing slightly sharper into focus. So yeah, I'll take the Brewers at +128. And finally, Dylan, it is dingers, the catchily named section where we pick someone who's going to hit a dinger. Dylan, who have you fetched out here?
All right, we are going to go back to an earlier game we talked about in Philly and the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I'm going to go with the first baseman from Arizona, Christian Walker, to hit a home run. Taijuan Walker's given up a lot of home runs. He's given up a home run in every game besides 2, 9 total on the year. 13 of 17 of Christian Walker's home runs have come by righties. He hits righties much better than he does lefties. He has 4 home runs in the last 7 games. Plus, we're going to have a very windy night in Philadelphia tomorrow, so going to help carry the ball a little bit. So I'm going to go with Christian Walker to hit one off of Taijuan Walker.
Walker off Walker. Well, you see, I'm 1 for 2 now since I started doing dingers. I opened up with a Shohei Ohtani win, and then my second show I went for Christian Walker. And last night he pulled one about a foot left of the foul pole. I was out my chair, Dylan. I thought I'd cracked it. I thought the gambling world was my oyster. Thought I was 2 for 2. And it went about a foot the wrong side of the pole. I'm going to, unfortunately, for the Bloss family, I'm going to go back to Baltimore tomorrow. And I'm going to pick top of the lineup. Where are we going? Gunnar Henderson. I mean, he's 3 for 3 tonight against the Yankees without the home run. But his figures look great. Lots of dark green in his profile, which tells you he's got the ISO power to be able to knock one out tomorrow. So I'll take Gunnar Henderson to hit a home run off Jake Bloss at the Astros. Dylan, anything else you want to tell the people before we let them go?
No, just, we're getting into the dog days of summer where kind of baseball and the Euros are really the only thing going on. So we appreciate everyone coming in every day, and hopefully we continue to give you out some winners. I know I've been struggling with the dingers lately, but I'm going to get one, I promise.
Yes, tomorrow, Dylan. 2 for 2 tomorrow. We'll get the ball rolling. Yeah, thanks everyone in the chat. That has perked me up a little bit because I was in a bit of a bad mood when I came into this. Through no one's fault but my own. But as always, the MLB SGPN crew lift me up. I'm going away for the weekend, so that's me off the show till Monday. I reckon I'll be back. I'm heading down to Worcester, which is where I went to college. There's a bit of a reunion going on. Actually, for some reason, I don't know if someone's taking the piss here. We're all staying in on campus in what are where the students live. So they've put us into little flats of 8 people. And now it's a football reunion, so all the lads are going for a game of football. So there's about 32 lads, but there's about 6 girls going, Dylan, as well, just general hangers on. And they sent the list of the rooms out, who's staying in what flat. And my list of rooms says Malcolm, John, Rachel, Anna, Joanne, Naomi, and Louise. So for some reason, Dylan, they've put me in with the 6 girls. So not really sure how that's going to end up. So if you've got time to catch a flight, Dylan, if you've got about 18 hours to get across, I might be able to help you out there. But yeah someone's taking the piss because I'm sure those girls don't want to be sharing with me. But I'll let you know how that plans out early next week. Thanks for joining everybody. Loads of fun. The crew will be back Friday and Sunday. Get across. The Euro Gambling Podcast will be live in 20 minutes. We'll handicap all of the weekend's action. Look forward to that. But until then, we will see you all down the road. Cheers.